Welcome back everyone, I'm Kplays Games, this is Diablo 2, and welcome back to the second part of our Amazon Nightmare farming run. I have been out and run all 8 of the dungeons, another 17 times each. These dungeons being the Countess, Andariel, Duriel, Lower Kurast, Travancal, Mephisto, Pindleskin, and the Secret Cow level. And this is all the stuff we got. First of all, we found the Undead Crown, which is a really nice Necromancer themed helmet, adds 3 to Skeleton Mastery, Poison Resist plus 50%, half freeze duration, 5% life stolen per hit, nice for a combat Necromancer. Then we found Hellcast, which is a fire themed heavy crossbow, firing explosive arrows and bolts with 15 to 35 fire damage added on, and fire resist plus 15 and maximum fire resist plus 15, so that's very much fire themed. Then we found Sigyn's Visor, which is another part of the Sigyn's Complete Steel, and then we have 4 of the 6 parts. Then we found the Butcher's Cleaver, which is a really good axe. One-handed damage at 56 to 136, so that's really nice. Very fast attack speed, which means that 56 to 136 is happening very rapidly. It's indestructible, so it never needs to be repaired. It has a 35% chance of doing Deadly Strike, and on top of that, it also has a 25% chance of doing Open Wounds, which is bleed damage, so that is a sickeningly good axe. Then we found Gleam Sheath the Phaeton, 17 to 32 damage, fast attack speed, adds 3 to 5 cold damage. Cold damage is always nice because it slows down your enemies, and a few other things as well. Then we found the Arctic Horn, which is another part of the Arctic gear. Then we now have 3 of the 4 parts of the Arctic gear. As we see, because we have 3 of the 4 parts, the Warbow is getting 2 green abilities. This adds 20 to 30 cold damage, which makes this really good considering it's only a required level 2. If you can equip this at level 2, you'll be doing an awful lot of damage. And plus 544 to attack rating based on character level, so it's accurate and it does lots of damage at low level at least. And the furs get defense per level, so that's really good, and all resistances plus 10, with another plus 15 to cold resist, so cold resist is plus 25. And the belt is adding another 40 on your cold resist, and then another 10 on cold resist, so that 25 is gone to 65, and then 75, so your cold resist gets maxed out as soon as you wear this set, at least on normal mode, and a 40% better chance of getting magic items, so that's quite nice. Then we found Go Shovel, this axe, 60% chance of doing Open Wounds, which is bleed damage. Other than that, it's not that good. Plus 25 to strength is quite nice though. Blade Bone, this double axe, not very good. Adds 8 to 12 fire damage, double damage to undead. That's about all there is to say about that axe. Found Wither String, this hunter's bow, very fast attack speed, fires magic arrows, adds 1 to 3 damage. Other than that, terrible. Considering it's level 13, by the time you're at level 13 with the bow firing Amazon, you'll be doing way more damage than this bow does. Then we found Isenhart's case again, of course. Then we found Sander's Superstitium, which is another part of the Sander's Folly set. Good for a combat necromancer. Adding 25 to 75 cold damage and stealing 8% mana per hit is always quite nice. That gives us 3 of the 4 parts of that set. As we see, the boots are not getting any green abilities, even though we have 3 of the 4 parts. But they're pretty good for the faster run walk anyway. And there's the gloves, which are increasing our attack speed and adding poison damage, and again they don't have any green, so they're not getting any additional bonuses. And the wand itself is not getting any green either, so it looks like we're going to have to find Sander's Paragon and then hope that everything else gets lots of green. Then we found Tancred's Crowbill again, because of course this is a double. As you see on the left hand of your screen, we have it already. And we found the Swordback Hold, and as you see on the left hand side of your screen, we have this already. 50% chance of Open Wounds, attacker takes damage of 10, nice little meme, stop hurting yourself kind of thing. Then we found the Angelic Sickle, we know what that does, we found the complete set already and decanted it onto another character. And we found the General's Tando Liga, which is a flail. One-handed damage, 2 to 58. Yeah, flails are like that. They do very small damage or very big damage or everything in between. So you're never quite sure how much damage you're going to do with a flail. But luckily this has very fast attack speed, so you'll be rolling the dice all the time. And it does steal 5% mana per hit. And because it's very fast attack speed, you'll be stealing lots of mana. Slows your target by 50%, so that's quite nice. Not quite as good as cold damage, but any kind of slowdown on enemies is nice. Then we found Cthan's Mesh, which is another part of Cthan's Traps. As you see on the left hand side, we have it already. And then we found Cthan's Ring, and that gave us 4 out of the 5 parts. And as we see, when we have it equipped, this does indeed get an additional green ability from the rest of the set. So the ring itself is stealing 6% life per hit and adding plus 10 to strength. The set as a whole is adding 15 to 20 fire damage, regenerating mana 16% faster, and the lightning resist is plus 25. Now the rule is a staff because this is a sorceress themed set, but obviously non-sorceresses can make use of everything other than the staff. There's the Visage, adding lots of defense on character level, and cold resist. So as we know, the set as a whole is adding lightning, this is adding cold. There's the amulet, which is adding 25% better chance of getting magic items, so that's nice. And there's the mess, which is adding fire, so we've got fire, cold and lightning resist. Pretty nice. Then we found Iratha's Cuff, which adds cold resist and half freeze duration. They're pretty nice on their own. Then we also found the cord, so we put the cord and the gloves both on, and we see even though we only have 2 of the 4 parts of this set, we are indeed getting an extra green ability, and in this case it's adding 10 dexterity, so that makes you more accurate. And the gloves are increasing our attack speed by 20, so that's pretty nice. Then we found Cthan's Ring again. Then we found the Berserker's Headgear, and we found the Chance Guards, which are chain gloves. 200% extra gold from monsters, 40% better magic find, so these are really good for a farming character, so I'm pretty sure I actually started wearing these. And then we found the Axe of Fikmar, freezes target plus 3, cold resist plus 50%, and the damage isn't great, but at level 8 it's not too bad. The freezing target is a nice thing. Then we found Hellcast again. Then we found Vidala's Barb, which is part of the Vidala's set, and as you see on the left hand side we already have that, so it's a double. Then we found the Grim Reaper War Scythe. Does 33 to 43 damage, so that's a nice tight range, you kind of know what you're going to get. 20% enhanced damage, plus 15 to minimum damage, 5% mana stolen per hit, 100% chance of doing Deadly Strike. And Deadly Strike is double damage. So this always does double damage, so take that 33 to 43 and double it, and then add your skills on it. So this is a really nice polearm, and it prevents monsters from healing themselves. Then we found Death's Touch, which is a sword which on its own does 25% extra damage and steals 4% life per hit. Then we found Death's Touch again, and we found Tiamat's Rebuke, this dragon shield, and this does all kinds of cool things. When you get hit, there is a 3% chance for it to cast a level 6 Hydra, and a 5% chance for it to cast a level 7 Nova, and a 5% chance for it to cast a level 9 Frost Nova. It adds 35 to 95 fire damage on your attacks. It adds 1 to 120 lightning damage to your attacks. It adds 27 to 53 cold damage to your attacks. It has 161% better defense, and it increases all your resistances by 34. So that's a really nice shield. Then we finally found enough stuff to have the entire Berserker set. So here's what the whole set does. The headgear adds fire resist plus 25, plus 15 defense, plus 560 to attack rating based on character level, so that makes you much more accurate. And the axe, 30% bonus to attack rating, so you're even more accurate. Remember the helmet's adding attack rating as well. 5% mana stolen per hit, plus 50% enhanced damage. Damage isn't great. And there's the Berserker's Hauberk, which is the Splint Mail. Adds 1 to all barbarian skill levels, adds to your defense based on character level, and the set as a whole adds 1 to 2 poison damage instantly over 0 seconds, so it's just instant poison damage, adds 75 to your defense, adds 50 to your life, and reduces your poison length by 75%. Not bad for level 3. I'm not sure how long it would last on a character, but it's pretty nice for a level 3 set. Then we found Naja's Circlet, which is part of the Naja's Ancient Vestige set. 12% chance to cast a level 5 Chain Lightning when you get hit. Not bad. Adds 25 to 35 fire damage, plus 75 defense, plus 15 strength, plus 5 light radius. So that was the first of that 3-part set, so that went in stash. Then we found the final part of the Death set, and this is Death's Disguise. Death's Guard is a sash, cannot be frozen, which is always good. All res plus 15, which is really nice. Set as a whole gives you all resistances plus 25, so that's plus 40 to all your resistances, 8% lifesteal, and 40% bonus to your attack rating, so you're accurate. This is Death's Hands, the gloves, poison resist plus 50, so remember we're getting all res plus 40, and your poison resist gets another 50, so that's poison resist 90 from this set, and your poison length is reduced by 75%, so makes you almost immune from poison. 30% increased attack speed, so that's always nice. And here's Death's Touch, the weapon. The damage is not huge at 10 to 25, but for level 6 it's not too bad. And of course the set is adding another 25 to 75 cold damage, so Death's Touch is very much all about the cold. Really nice set at level 6. So we'll put that on a new character and play with that at some point in the future. Then once again we found the Angelic Wings, and we found another new set, part of the Arcana's Tricks. This is Arcana's Flesh. All it does is reduces incoming damage by 3 and adds 2 to your light radius. I suspect that if and when we find the rest of the set, it will get much better abilities, because at the moment it's just trash. Then we found Venom Ward, this breastplate. I believe we already have that. I think that's that on the left hand side of the screen. Adds 90 to your poison resist and reduces poison length by 50%, so all about the poison resistance. Then another part of Isenhart, and we found the Kelpie Snare Fuskina, which is a two-handed spear doing 77 to 142 damage. Required level 33, so not that great by the time you get up there. It is adding to your life based on character level, so that's quite nice. Fire resist plus 50 is quite nice. Slowing your target by 75% is really nice. And adding 10 to your strength, so that'll give you more damage. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, the slowdown is the main thing there. Anything you target with this is slowed down by 75%. And then we did indeed find the final part of the Isenhart set, and this is what it does. This is the broadsword, very fast attack speed, plus 10 to minimum damage, which by the minimum damage is up to 17, so you're going to get an average of 17.5 every time you hit something with that, but that's all. There's nothing else adding to the damage. So the damage isn't great. It is very fast attack speed and very accurate due to the plus 345 on your attack rating. The set as a whole is increasing your run walk by 20%, 30% better chance of blocking, 35% bonus to attack rating on top of the 345 we're getting from the sword itself, plus 10 to strength and dex, and plus 10 to all resists. The horns are getting all res plus 8, so that's all res up to 18. Another plus 6 to dexterity, which is even more accurate. And the ward is poison resist plus 26. And the shield, another plus 8 to all resistances. So that's 8 from the helm, 8 from the shield, so that's 16, 10 from the full set, so that's all res plus 26. Attacker takes lightning damage of 4, plus 40 defense. Other than that, not that great. And here's the armor. Plus 40 defense, plus another 138 defense based on your character level, and your magic damage is reduced by 2. So this is all about the accuracy and a decent amount of resistances. It's quite nice for a level 8 set, so again, that will be donated to another character. And then we finally found the final part of the Civerb's Vestments set. And this is the ward, which is the large shield, 15% increased chance of blocking, plus 15 defense, poison resist plus 26, plus 22 to mana. And the set as a whole is increasing our attack rating by 25%, doing triple damage to undead, because plus 200% means triple, plus 100% would be double, so this is triple damage to anything undead, so that's huge. Plus 50 defense, plus 15 to strength, lightning and fire resist plus 25 each. So we know we have lightning 25, fire 25, poison 26 from the shield. This is the Civerb's amulet. There's the missing resistance, there's cold, so it's plus 25 to all. Replenishes life plus 4, regenerates mana 40%. And there is the Grand Scepter, which is the final part. Plus 23 to maximum damage, plus another 72 to maximum damage based on character level, so the damage range is between 8 and 113. So big huge spread of damage, plus 75 to attack rating, 50% damage to undead. We are getting 50% damage to undead from this, and 200% damage to undead from the set as a whole. So this does a stonking amount of damage to undead. I mean, you will absolutely smash through undead hordes with this set. So that will very probably be donated to a paladin. Then we found Clegloss Pincers again. Then we found the Ward, which is a nice shield. All resistances plus 45. 10% increased chance of blocking. Plus 40 defense, plus 10 to strength. Magic damage reduced by 2. Yep, pretty nice little shield that. And we found Rebuke, this razor bow. Very fast attack speed. 30% increased attack speed on top of that. Plus 212 enhanced damage. That's why the damage is 24 to 68. Steals a stonking 9% life per hit. And it has a 30% chance of doing open wounds. Open wounds being unavoidable bleeding damage. And it slows your targets by 30% and adds 35 to mana. Nice little bow that, even though it's level 31, the enhanced damage and open wounds and slowing the target will still make it useful at that level. And we found Tearhaunch or Tearhaunch, not quite sure how to pronounce that. Either way, they give us 20% faster run walk, add 2 to Vigor, which is a paladin aura which makes you faster, adds 69% enhanced defense, nice. 35 extra defense on top of that, plus 5 to strength and dex, and all resistances plus 10. Yeah, nice little set of paladin boots that. And we found Woestave, this two-handed halberd. 50% chance of doing open wounds, which once again is bleeding damage. Prevents monster heal, which is great. Blinds a target, plus 3. That's excellent. Freezes target, excellent. Slows target by 50%, excellent. Minus 52 to monster defense per hit. Very nice. But it is a slow attack speed, but it is really good, especially against single large targets. It blinds them, it freezes them, it slows them down, it stops them from healing, does bleed damage, reduces their defense every time you hit them. Nice little weapon. Then we found Hellclap, this short warbow. Very fast attack speed, plus 1 to fire skills, and that means on any character which uses fire skills, not just fire arrows on an Amazon. So sorceresses or paladins or anyone else with any kind of skill that does any kind of fire damage at all will be increased by this bow. So that's quite nice. Adds 15 to 36 fire damage, fire resist plus 40, so again another little bow all about the fire damage. Pretty nice. And we found another two-handed weapon. This is the Impaler. Very fast attack speed, which is brutal when you consider it's doing 26 to 98 damage. Ignores the target's defense, which is amazing. Plus 150 to attack rating, so it's accurate. 40% chance of the open wounds bleed damage. Plus 5 to impale, which is an Amazon spear skill. And plus 3 to power strike, which is an Amazon skill. And it prevents the monster heal. So that is a disgustingly good weapon for a spear Amazon. Then we found Bartuc's Cutthroat, which are Greater Talons, which are an assassin only weapon. This adds 1 to assassin martial arts skills and adds 2 to all assassin skill levels on top of that. So martial arts is plus 3, which is really rather nice. 30% faster hit recovery, plus 168% enhanced damage, adds 25 to 50 damage on top of that. 20% bonus to attack rating, 5% lifesteal, plus 20 to both strength and dex. Yeah, pretty good. We find Sigun Sabo again, and his Armory's Iron Heel once again. Then we found the Lance of Yagai, which is another two-handed weapon. We found an awful lot of two-handed weapons. This one adds 1 to 60 lightning damage, increases all your resistances by 15, and anyone who attacks you takes a damage of 8. Required level 22, by the time you're that level, you should have something better than this. It's okay, I suppose. Then we found Skystrike, which is an Amazon-themed bow. 17 to 53 damage, very fast attack speed, 2% chance to cast a level 6 meteor when you hit things. And considering it's very fast attack speed, you should trigger that quite often. Plus 1 to all Amazon skill levels, wonderful for a boson. 30% increased attack speed, plus 184% enhanced damage, plus 100 to attack rating. Adds a stonking 1 to 250 lightning damage. And adds plus 10 to energy, so that's lots of mana. Yeah, pretty good bow that. Then we found Vidala's Barb, another part of Vidala's rig set. Then we found Islestrike, a twin axe, normal attack speed. Now strangely, this is an axe, which is all about druid, which is weird because druids don't usually use axes, but any druid using this one will. Plus 2 to all druid skill levels, that's huge. Adds 183% extra damage, which is why it's 36 to 107. 25% chance of crushing blow, which is the one that takes off huge chunks of enemies' health. +1 to Fury and +1 to Maul. These are Werewolf and Werebear skills, respectively. Adds 50% defense against missiles and adds 10 to all your attributes. So yeah, quite a nice little axe that. Then we found Cathan's Ring again and Cathan's Amulet again. And we found Stormeye, this War Scepter. Fast attack speed, 21 to 37 damage. Adds 1 to 6 lightning damage on top of that. Adds 3 to 5 cold damage on top of that. +1 to Fist to the Heavens, which is a Paladin skill. +3 to Holy Shock, which is a Paladin skill. +5 to Resist Lightning, which is again a Paladin skill. Replenish Life +10, which is gigantic. And because it's a mace, it does 50% extra damage to undead. Not bad. And we found Hazaris' Iron Heel yet again. And we found Clyglaw's Tooth again. And we found another part of the Arcana's Tricks. And this is Arcana's Head. On its own, it replenishes life +4 and attacker takes damage of 2, but because we have 2 parts of the set, it's getting an extra green bonus, which is extra defense based on your character level, which is quite nice. And even though we only have 2 of the 4 parts of the set, we're getting a gold set bonus of +50 to mana. And this is the plate that we found the last time, and we were hoping that we would get a green if we got more parts, and indeed we have. Just 100 to defense and nothing else, so not the best of sets yet. I'm assuming it's going to get better if and when we find the rest of it. And we found Tal Rasha's Heraldic Crest, which is a death mask, which steals 10% mana and life per hit, which is huge. All resistances +15, +30 to mana, +60 to life, +45 defense. This is a high level set, as we see, required level 66. There are 5 parts of it, so it's going to take us a very long time to find the rest of it. And we found Hellplague, this longsword, which, similar to the bow we found earlier, adds 2 to fire skills. So any character who has any skill based on fire will add 2 to the skill levels of that skill, which is quite nice. 72% enhanced damage, adds 25 to 75 fire damage, and 26 to 56 poison damage, and steals 5% life and mana. So yeah, quite a nice sword that. I like that quite a lot. Then we found this excellent bow. This is the Witchwild String. It does 34 to 80 damage. It does a 2% chance to cast level 5 amplified damage when you hit things. Amplified damage is a necromancer curse, which increases the amount of damage monsters in a whole area take. It fires magic arrows, which is great, which means all this damage, the 34 to 80, is magic damage and not physical damage. And as we know, not many things in the game are resistant to magic, so this thing will do a lot of damage to things. Plus 167% enhanced damage. This has 71% chance of doing Deadly Strike, and Deadly Strike is double damage. And it's based on character level, so the higher level you are, the more likely you are to do double damage. All resistances +40, and crucially, it has 2 open sockets, so you can put a couple of gems or runes in here to enhance it in whichever way you see fit. Of course, you cannot turn this into a rune word because it's a unique, but it does have 2 open sockets, so yeah, very interesting bow. I will have to think very long and hard about what to do with these 2 sockets, but then you have until level 39 on your bow Amazon to work out what to do with that anyway. But yeah, really nice bow. And we found another double Isenhart's case again. Then we found the ward again, and more Siggins and Sander's Superstition, which we have already on the left hand side. Then we found the Grim Reaper War Scythe. Spineripper, this little dagger. This tiny little dagger does 33 to 83 damage. Very fast attack speed, so it'll do a lot of DPS. +1 to all necromancer skill levels. Ignores target's defense, 8% lifesteal per hit. Considering its very fast attack speed, that's really evil. And it prevents monster heal. So this will be really good for like a poison dagger themed necromancer. Very nice little weapon. Then we found this large 2-handed axe, Stormrider. 5% chance to cast a level 10 chain lightning when you strike. 10% chance to cast level 15 charge bolt when you strike. And when you get hit, there's a 15% chance to cast a level 5 charge bolt. So all about the weird lightning effects. And it adds 1 to 200 lightning damage, and anyone who attacks you takes lightning damage of 15. So yeah, really nice lightning themed axe that. As we see, the damage is 83 to 229, That's just the base amounts. Obviously, when you stick that on an axe-themed barbarian, you'll be getting stupid amounts of damage with this thing. Then we found Venom Ward again. We know what that does. That's the poison armour. Then Cathan's Mask again. Isenhart's Lightbrand again. Another Cathan's... I got sick of finding Cathan's Ring. I found it about 17 times. Then we found Ironstone, this Warhammer, which does 44 to 67 damage, plus 124 to attack rating, so it's fairly accurate. Adds 1 to 10 lightning damage, plus 10 to strength. Required level 27, it's kind of meh. Isenhart's Case again. And then I found a triple socket Pavis, which is the upgraded version of a tower shield. And of course I made another Ancient's Pledge with that, just to give our character a slightly better shield. So that was quite nice. And we found Millabrega's Orb. As you see on the left hand side, we already have this in stash, so that was a double. Another set of Isenharts. I got sick of finding Isenharts as well. Then we found this stunkingly amazing bow. This is Kuko Shakaku. This does 26 to 76 damage, fast attack speed, plus 3 to all bow and crossbow skills for Amazons, which is evil. Fires explosive arrows, so that's area of effect. 50% piercing attack, and piercing means that it will pass through one enemy, doing full damage to them, and then hit an enemy behind them. And then they also have a 50% chance of being pierced. So that's quite nice, and it adds 40 to 180 fire damage on top of the 26 to 76. And another 3 to Immolation Arrow, which is a fire arrow, and that's on top of the already plus 3 to bow and arrow skills. So Immolation Arrow in effect gets plus 6. An Immolation Arrow does fire damage, and the bow does fire damage, and it's all explosive bolts, and it pierces. So this is a disgusting fireball. Really, really good. Looking forward to using that at some future date on a bow-themed Amazon. Speaking of plus 6 to skills, here's a really cool sword for a paladin. This is Kinemil's All. Now it is a two-handed sword, which is a bit of an issue for a paladin, because paladins usually like to have a mace or a sword and a shield, because paladin shields are disgustingly overpowered. Paladin shields usually have plus to all resist, plus lots of other stuff as well. And paladin shields can get extra sockets, so on normal mode you can find 4 socket paladin shields, but not when you're using this weapon, because this is two-handed. But in return for that, you are gaining plus 6 to Holy Fire, and Holy Fire is an aura which does huge amounts of fire damage to anything close to you. This adds plus 6 to that, and the sword itself adds 6 to 39 fire damage and adds 20 to your mana. So yeah, very narrowly themed build here. Well, I'll put this on a paladin. Maybe we'll do a playthrough doing Holy Fire, because if you can max out Holy Fire, get that to level 20, then this will be level 26 Holy Fire. I can only imagine the area of effect of that will probably be the entire screen. Like, everything on screen will be taking huge amounts of fire damage every tick, so that could be quite good fun. Very interesting sword, and it looks really cool. Then we found Sanders Riprap. As you see, we have these before. We found Lance Guard. 20% chance of Deadly Strike on whatever weapon you're using. That's quite nice. Deadly Strike being double damage. And anything attacking you takes damage of 47, which is huge. Even at level 35, 47 is quite a lot of damage to be reflecting. And 15% of the damage you take gets added to your mana. So yeah, quite nice. Umbral Disc, a small shield. This is quite an interesting thing. Hits blinds target, so whenever you hit something it blinds them, and that means they can't see you, so that's really good. Nice little enhanced defense there. Plus 10 to dexterity, plus 20 to life, minus 2 to light radius, but that's not too bad. Not bad for level 9. Blinding your target is never not funny. Then we found the Dragon Chang, which is a two-handed spear. Plus 10 to minimum damage, so you're doing between 13 and 15 damage, which obviously the average is 14. Adds 3 to 6 fire damage on top of that. Other than that, it's not that good. Double damage to undead is nice. Level 8, so it's good at level 8, but not for very long. You'll very quickly find something better than that. We found Death's Touch again. Civerb's Cudgel again. Millabrega's Orb again. Nagel Ring, plus 75 attack rating. Magic damage reduced by 2. Attacker takes damage of 3. And 28% better chance of getting magic items. Then we find this staff, the Spire of Lazarus. Plus 1 to all sorcerer skill levels. adds 1 to 28 lightning damage. +1 to chain lightning, which is actually +2 because it's already been leveled by 1. +2 to lightning, which is really +3. And +3 to static field, which is of course really +4. +15 to energy, so that's a lot of mana. Regenerates mana 43% faster, which is really good. Lightning resist +75, damage reduced by 5, 50% damage to undead. So yeah, really good for a lightning based sorceress, that really, really good indeed. Again, Isenhart's sword, Sigyn's gloves, a duplicate Hellplague, and that is everything I found. So yeah, very, very profitable farming run here. We got quite a few full sets. We found some new stuff for sets we've never met before. We found lots and lots of really good bows and some pretty good two-handed spears. So yeah, some of our other characters are going to have fun with them. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it might happen. But when it happens, we have all this cool gear stowed away for when it does. So let me know if you want to see me use full sets on a brand new character. I'm not sure I'm going to do a hell run on this Amazon straight away. I don't really feel like playing the game 3 times with the same character in succession. That gets a little bit too samey and a little bit boring. So whatever we decide to do come back and watch it, and do look after yourself until then. I will see you later.